All right, and welcome back to season 7 of our show. And today, it's chicken leg quarters, and we're smoking them up with two fantastic seasonal summer sides. Let's show you how to get them done. So for this dish, you're gonna need some chicken, and these are chicken leg quarters. Now we've cleaned all of these leg quarters, so we defatted these, and we cleaned them up beautifully. And we're gonna show you how we did that because we left one behind for you. And before we do that, take a look at this spread. We got a ham here, collard greens, bell peppers, some onions, potatoes. And we're gonna show you how to put together two beautiful southern sides from all that, including collard greens, so you know what's coming up next. Now I'm gonna get this piece of chicken onto the bench. Take a look at this. Now this was a really fatty chicken. So the first thing you wanna do is take your knife and start cleaning up some of this skin. I'm just gonna take the tip of my knife and get under here and pull back. I'm gonna lift it, start cutting. Let the weight of the chicken do the work for you. So just like that, and now look at that. Now, on the side of the chicken, see all that fat? I'm gonna pull back the skin a little bit. I'm gonna take my knife and gently scrape that fat out of there, just right on the side. And now we have that. Now there's a piece here still connected to the thigh that's connected to the backbone. So how do we get rid of that? You gotta take your knife. I'm gonna come in, just like that. I'm gonna get my knife underneath this bone, just like that. Then I'm gonna just get a little pressure down and through. And that's it, see? And now you got this little piece separated. Now what I did with the rest of them here, I put them in a pot with some turmeric, a little bit of salt, and I gave them to the doggies. They love them. So I use those as treats, or you could save it for a stock. All right, let's get back to this chicken. Here's a pocket of fat right here. This is the worst pocket on the thigh. I'm gonna open that up, and I'm gonna peel that fat out of there, just with a knife here. Just get it out. See that? Doesn't make for a very pleasant bite. And then I'm just gonna look around and clean up any loose fat that's on here. And that's how we did that. So just like that, and you're good to go. So now you got a nice clean chicken. Now I salted these chickens the night before. Just gave them a little salt brine. I'm gonna get organized, get cleaned up, and I'm gonna meet you right back here and show you how to season this up. So stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, our chicken's cut up and trimmed up. Now we have to season it up. Let's show you how to get it done. All right, so we put our chicken inside a bowl. This is my system, and I'm putting this on a barrel cooker. So I got a bowl, just like this size right here, that'll fit this. So I put this on top of the bowl, and now I'm ready to hang my chicken in it, which I'll show you in just a second, but this is my little concoction, and I put this together on my own. And don't be afraid to make things to suit your needs, because they don't sell stuff like this in the store, so sometimes it's good to get creative with this stuff. All right, so we're going in with some garlic powder, onion powder, a little Szechuan in here, and cumin powder. And I'm just gonna season this up real well. Now the chicken's salted, we salted it overnight in a salt brine. And all we did was just put salt on it and stick it in the refrigerator. And we call that a salt brine. So nothing too fancy. So I'm gonna get a lot of this on there. And then I'm going in with avocado oil. And I'm gonna rub all this in. So this does two things. Gets all this nice seasoning into the meat, and it's gonna set the color of your meat in the cooker. It's not gonna let all that powder fly off of there. So just get it rubbed in. And the reason why I season first instead of oil first is so all that season can just take a couple seconds and sit down in the meat. Now we're on film right now, and we don't have time to let this sit. But normally, I will put the seasoning onto the meat, let it sit in for about an hour, and then go on with the oil. So this way I know that the seasoning penetrates the meat. If you put the oil on first, it's gonna repel all your seasoning, so why would you do that? It's not gonna go down into the pores of the meat, and you don't wanna do that. See how fast it is? And look how nice that just went right down into the meat. And pull all the skin back, and just give it a good blast. And have a blast doing it. All right, so there you go. So we got that. Now the cooker I'm using today is a pit barrel. And I got some hooks here from this specific cooker. And it's a really good cooker in hot weather or cold weather because you're in, you're out. All right, so I'm gonna take my hooks. So I'm just gonna show you one of them. I'm gonna take my hook. I'm gonna put my skin back on the leg. I'm gonna hook through the back of the leg right here. And now I got it hooked. So I'm gonna leave this down for a second. I'm gonna put this back on. Just like that. And take a look down in there. You see that? So I'm gonna take my leg, quarter, and I'm just gonna hook it right onto the loop. So now I could just take it like this, lift it up, and I can put it right onto my grill. See that? It's not going anywhere. And that's what I'm gonna do with the rest of these guys. So I'm just gonna take them and get them hooked. When we hook them up, we're gonna meet you back here, finish up the rest of this stuff, kick up our cooker, and cook up a beautiful meal. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. You see that? So now I can't go anywhere. And I could just lift it up and get it onto my cooker just like that. See them? They're not going anywhere. They're locked in. So I'm going to take this, put it in my barrel, and call it a day. All right, time to get them on. Take a look. See them? They're all lined up. Now I just go just like this, and then right over to our cooker. I'm just going to line this up. And that's it. I'm gonna get my lid on, open up my vent, and I am good to go. All right, we're gonna rock these out. We'll meet you inside, finish up the rest of this meal. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we got those leg quarters out there smoking away, and to go along with those, we're doing two very basic, simplistic sides. Let's show you how to do them. All right, so for the first dish, something very basic and simplistic, collard greens. So take a look in here. Now these are just basic greens. I'm gonna show you how I did this, and what a lot of people don't know about collard greens. When you do the collard green, you don't wanna cut the collard greens. So if you take a knife and cut through, it's almost like cutting basil. You're gonna not release a bunch of the flavor in the collard greens. So what you wanna do is come down, and you wanna leave a few of these stems inside the bottom of the pot. So a stem like this, don't throw them out. You're gonna have to pick through the pot, but leave some of the stems in because they release a lot of that flavor. You take your collard green, instead of cutting it with a knife, you're just gonna rip it. Give it a rustic rip, just like that. And that's what we did with everything here. Everything here has a really rustic, simplistic rip to it. Don't use a knife. All right, so let's get this off to the side. Here's an onion. So this is going in our dish too. So what we did with the onion, rustic chop. Take the onion, slice off the ends, just like that. I'm gonna cut it in half. Let's get this off to the side. And then you're just gonna peel the onion. Just like that. So this way you have two halves. We're gonna go down with just a chop. There you go. That's how you want that. 1, 2, 3 in the middle. And now you got your onions done. All right, and here's the meat part, a ham. So we're gonna bring in the ham. Switch knives here because we need a good chopper here. And now we're gonna look, find our bone. Now there's a bone in this ham. Now I've been chopping on this ham for a couple of days now and making different things. So we're making two different dishes with this ham. It's cured and smoked, this ham. It's a basic ham, $1.99 a pound. I'm gonna take my knife and cut through, just like that. I'm gonna half it. Look around, see if I see any bones in here. I don't see any bones, so we're good to go. It's 100% meat. And I'm just gonna cut it up, just like this. And just get it into cubes. All right, so we're gonna cube this up, and then we're gonna meet you onto the stove to cook all this. And by the way, you're gonna need crushed red chili flakes, and some vinegar. So very basic dish. Ham, chili flakes, vinegar, and onion. We'll meet you onto the stove when we're done chopping this up. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we started this off with a little lard in the bottom of this pot. Just a little bit of lard. And we're cooking down our ham and our onions. So just throw it all in the pot together. Jump the heat on and just start slowly cooking it down. Over here I have a little bit of bouillon. There's a couple of bouillon cubes here broken down. That's a beef bouillon in there. And we're just going to get that stirred in. Simple ingredients, simple flavors. Just like that. We're just going to sweat this meat. And when I say sweat the meat, we're cooking it, but we're cooking the haminess out of it. All right, I'm going in with a little crushed chili flake here. Just a little bit. Make it yours. There's no salt in here because the salt is in the ham. Now, where most people make a mistake when they do greens, they'll throw the greens in, and they'll dump a bunch of liquid inside the greens. Now, there's liquid down at this bottom of this pot already. See that? That's from the onions and the ham juice. So once you have that, just start to take your greens and get them in. Just like that. I'm not putting any liquid in here. Let the liquid come out of the greens, and that's your flavor. That's vegetable stock. So just get them all in, just like that. And just let them cook down on their own. They're going to release their own water. So you got vegetable stock from the greens. You got meat stock from the ham. And there's a lot of salt in that ham because it's cured. You also have the water in the onions. And that's more stock. And then you got the bouillon cube in there. That's making a lot of flavor for your stock. So you're using simple, basic ingredients to make this. I'm going to let this cook down a little bit till I see some liquid, and then I'm going to put the lid on top, add a touch of vinegar to it, call it a day, and let it go. I'll meet you right back here. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, take a look at this. This is literally 5 minutes in. See what happens after just 5 minutes? See how the greens are nice and cooked down? And they still got a lot of liquid on the bottom of that pot. And now we're going to bring out more flavor in here. We're going to hit them with a nice splash of vinegar. I like a nice douse of that vinegar. All right, let's get them stirred up. Now you need to get them tender. Look at all that meat in there, see? These are greens with plenty of meat. That's what you gotta love. Very simple, basic ingredients. All right, on low, we're gonna get the lid on here. Cook them down for about 45 minutes to an hour and you're good to go. We'll meet you back here, show you the second dish. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, about 40 minutes in. Let's see what we got. Look at that. It's looking right. Can't go wrong with that. I'm gonna let this run for about an hour, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. I like that chicken well done, especially on leg quarters. There's nothing better than a nice well done leg quarter, right? All right, we'll meet you right back here, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, so we got that chicken out there blazing away. Our greens are cooking away. Last stop on this train is a gorgeous potato and ham dish. Let's show you how to get it done. So for this dish, what you're gonna need is some potatoes. Now, these are Idaho potatoes. They're peeled and clean and dried. So make sure when you peel them, you clean them, wash them off, dry them. Make sure you dry them thoroughly and they're not wet at all. You wanna get as much moisture out here as possible. I'm gonna need an onion. I'm gonna put a little onion in here. This is a nice diced up onion. I'm gonna get a lot of that in here. Now we're just gonna give this a toss. Mix it up. Just like that. Black pepper. A good douse of that in there. Toss it. Mix it up. Mustard oil. This is mustard seed oil. And this is gonna give a lot of beautiful flavor in here. I'm gonna get a lot of this in here. All right? Just like that. I'm gonna toss it, mix it up. And and you'll be able to see those colors come through. Here's that ham. Back to that ham again. We diced it up and we made little small pieces out of it. So we're gonna get this in. Feel it out, mix it up. So just like that, get it mixed in. I'm gonna go for some more ham. I know my ratio, so I'm just gonna ham it out and just go ham on it. All right, there we go. And mix it up. All right, 425-degree oven. Here's a cast iron pan. Those little bits in the bottom are from me dropping some things down in there. Here we go. Get it in. Now, if you don't use all of it, you can save some for the next day. So just smoothing it out. And get it in just like that. We're gonna stir it up anyway when it's in here, but this is gonna be beautiful. So we're just gonna cook it down, get it nice and crispy in here, let all those flavors of the ham come out. And that mustard seed oil is gonna be outstanding in here. And look at the color of the mustard seed oil in there. So it turned it that nice yellowy color. I'm gonna get a little bit more around the edges, get a little bit more in the middle. Gotta use this up. That's a pretty big pan, so we ratioed it out. So just like that. Now this can go anywhere in the oven from an hour to an hour and a half. So just like that. And in the oven it goes. But doesn't that look pretty? Can't go wrong with this, right? Wait till you see the flavor that comes out of here too. All right, in the oven, we'll meet you back here. Stick around, don't go anywhere. 4 1/4. We got some biscuits in the oven for dinner. And we're gonna take these all the way until they're done, so stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, take a look at these greens. See that? Do you need any broth in the bottom of here? No. That's how you want to do that. So everything is just releasing naturally, and those greens are cooking down right in their own broth. All right, we're gonna meet you back here. Get outside and pull that chicken, so don't go anywhere. All right, so we just let this chicken crisp up a little bit, and I have my hole to the top of this open just to get some more air in there and speed up that fire. I'm gonna close up, remove the lid, and look what we got. We're looking right. Let's get this out of here. Get it off the fire. Back to where we started from. She's looking right. All right, we're gonna close up. Meet you guys in the house, so stick around. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're all done. Chicken's off the cooker. Let's show you this first. So we're back to where we started from. Back to square one. All right, let's get these guys out of here. They cooled down enough. They're still hot. But let's get a few of these on the plate. See that? I can pull these out and then right back in the basket. So this is why this is so convenient when you look down in here. See that? Just pull them out, drop them right back down in there. It takes you no time to get through these guys. See that? And look how they played up. I'm just gonna move them down. And they played up quite lovely. See that? Stack a couple of different trays here. You got yourself a full-blown show. So just like that, cross them up and make them look pretty on the plate. All right, we're gonna finish stacking these guys and we're gonna meet you back here and show you the entire meal. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Listen how crispy that skin is. All right. Now I put these under the broiler. See that? I gave them a little turn, and then I put them under the broiler, 500 degrees, and let them get crispy on top there. I'm gonna stick them back under here, and we're gonna meet you onto the table to eat. Stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, and here we are on the chopping block of season 7, smoked leg quarters, chicken leg quarters, crispy potatoes with ham, and collard greens to bring it home. Let's show you what we got. Take a look at these guys. Now that is leg quarters smoked to perfection at their finest. Not gonna go wrong with these guys. Look at those potatoes. Nice and crispy. See how that ham crisp up in there? That's giving a lot of flavor. And those collards, they're looking spectacular. Lots and lots of meat in there. All right, let's move this off to the side and get into it. And we're gonna just bring in a plate and get some collards in this bowl. See, these collards made their own juice. If you look down the bottom, I still have more juice in the pot, but just put a little juice down the bottom there from those greens, and it'll just refreshen. And you see how those collards are ripped naturally. They're not cut. So it gives you that nice old school feel of ripped collards. That's why you want to rip them and never cut them. All right, so we'll get those in there. Let's bring these back. And then what I like is a splash of the old hot sauce in there. You're in the South. Can't have collard greens with no hot sauce, right? All right, let's get some potatoes on that plate. Look at these guys. Nice and crispy. Come right up from the bottom. And that is potatoes crispy, spot on. Let's just get some more of that crispy ham on the top there. This was done in about an hour and 15 minutes, so that's the time on there. All right, let's just straighten this up. And what I like to do with this is I'm gonna go in with a couple of dollops of sour cream. That's right, a couple. Maybe one more. One more. Get that right on the top of there. And some fresh scallion. Look at that. You're not gonna go wrong with this one. A little bit more. Okay. And we're gonna park some chicken on here. Let's go with a couple of pieces from the, actually go from the back. Maybe we'll line up 3 here on this plate. These are baby chickens too, so they line up nicely. So just like that, and there it is. Nothing complicated, simplicity at its finest. There it is. All right, let's get into it. Let's give this chicken a try. So I'm gonna take it, look at that, right into it. I'm gonna show you how this comes off the bone. Look at this, right down to the bone. See that? The chicken's spot on. Let's give this a shot. Moist, crunchy, succulent. That chicken's spot on. I mean, that's cooked to perfection there, right down to the bone, as you see. Now we let that go for about an hour and 5 minutes, somewhere around there. We were cruising somewhere around 300 degrees with that chicken. That's it, spot on chicken. Those baby chickens, that's where you want to go. When you use these big chickens, you're not going to get the flavor out of those big birds. They're just old buzzards, and you'll never get the flavor out of those gigantic birds as you will those tiny little hens. All right, let's try those potatoes. The soft, pillowy texture of those potatoes against that ham. The ham's a bit crunchy. You need that pillowy texture from those potatoes. It is outstanding. That sour cream takes it out of bounds. Outrageous. All right, last but not least, let's try those greens. All right, we're going to use some of this biscuit to get it on that fork. Remember this one? Those greens are full of flavor, no liquid. That's the secret to a perfect green. Just don't put any liquid in there. Let them make their own broth and their own juice and add to them from there. Just a little bit of onion, keep it simple, and always finish off with sopping it up with a biscuit. All right, we're gonna go organize. We're gonna meet you guys right back here, so stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, and there it is. Some gorgeous chicken leg quarters, smoked right down to the bone. We smoke those with a little mesquite, mixed with a little red oak, bring in some fabulous flavors. We serve that right on side of some nice crispy ham potatoes. You guys gotta give that one a shot. You'll love that. Sour cream on top. And we park some gorgeous greens on the side, using that same exact ham. Shows you guys how to use your ham in several different ways and not wait to Christmas time to do it. We finish off with some buttermilk biscuits. And like always, we loved having you. We always enjoy your visits. And with no further ado, gotta get that last bit nasty piece of chicken there.